Welcome, dear soul. Tonight you're here to rest, to let go, and to find comfort in a gentle story woven with peace. The day may have been heavy, filled with noise, thoughts, and endless responsibilities. This moment, right now, is only for you. A sanctuary of calm awaits, where every word is a soft embrace and every pause is a breath of healing. Imagine the world outside slowly fading, like footprints washed away by the ocean tide. The weight on your shoulders, the worries in your heart, the racing thoughts that never seem to stop, all of them are invited to dissolve in the stillness of this night. You don't need to hold on anymore. Here you are safe. Here you are loved as. You listen. Let your breath become slower, softer, deeper. With each inhale, gather peace. And with each exhale, release everything that no longer serves you. Allow yourself to be carried by the rhythm of these Zen Taoist gentle stories of healing, of quiet rivers, of starlit skies, of wisdom whispered by the wind dot. This is not just a bedtime story, it is a journey inward, a soft path to your truest self. And as the words flow, your heart will feel lighter, your mind will feel calmer, and your body will sink deeper into rest. Tonight is not about doing or thinking or striving. Tonight is about simply being peaceful, whole, and free dot. So close your eyes, dear listener. Let go of the world. Trust the night to hold you tenderly. And as the story begins, may you drift into the sweetest, most healing sleep you deserve, the river of quiet dreams. The night is soft tonight. A tender silence spreads across the land, broken only by the whisper of a gentle breeze and the quiet song of crickets hidden in the grass. Above, the stars shine like tiny lanterns, scattered across an endless canvas of velvet sky. Each one flickers with a timeless patience, a reminder that the universe moves slowly, calmly, and always in its own rhythm. Far away, at the edge of a small village nestled in the folds of green hills, a narrow path leads down to a quiet river. The path is lined with smooth stones that glisten faintly in the starlight. Wildflowers lean gently toward the path, their delicate petals catching the moon's glow. As you walk slowly down this path in your imagination, you notice how still everything feels, how every sound seems softened, as though the night itself wishes for you to rest. The air is cool but comforting. It carries with it the faint scent of pine from the distant forest, mixed with the freshness of water flowing. Nearby, you hear it now sound of the river, not loud, not rushing, but flowing steadily, like a soft voice humming a lullaby just for you. With every step you take closer to it, the sound becomes clearer, and with it comes an unexplainable sense of calm dot at the river's edge. The water gleams silver under the moonlight. It glides smoothly, almost like silk unfolding over rocks that barely break the surface. Tiny ripples catch the light, shimmering for a moment before disappearing again, like fleeting thoughts drifting in and out of the mind. You find a place to sit on a riverbank where the earth feels cool beneath you and the grass bends gently under your weight. Take a deep breath now. Inhale the night air, cool and clean, and let it fill your lungs. Slowly exhale and feel the weight of the day slipping from your shoulders. Let it flow away just as the river flows away, carrying everything unnecessary downstream. Each breath becomes lighter. Each moment feels softer. You're safe. You're home in the stillness. The villagers often say this river is more than just water. They say it carries dreams. Legends whisper that if you listen closely, you can hear the stories of countless lives carried in its current. Some say the river remembers everything: joys, sorrows, laughter, and tear sand transforms them into a song that heals the heart. Tonight, you decide to listen. Close your eyes in this story. Imagine leaning closer to the water. The river's voice becomes clearer. It is not just sounded as a presence, a gentle spirit speaking in whispers. And tonight it was just to share its first tale with you. The first tale, the lantern keeper. Once, long ago, in a town not so different from this village, there lived a lantern keeper. His name was Haru. Every night, it was his task to light the lanterns that line the streets. The townspeople relied on him, for the lanterns brought comfort in the darkness and guided travelers safely home. Haru took pride in his work. Each lantern he lit was done with care, as though he were lighting a star on earth. But though he brought light to others, Haru himself lived in quiet loneliness. His small home was dark and empty. His meals were eaten in silence. And though people greeted him kindly during the day, at night when his work was done, he often felt the weight of solitude pressing on his heart. One evening, While walking along the riverbank after finishing his rounds, Haru noticed something unusual. A small lantern floated gently on the water, glowing softly. It was unlike any he had seen before. Its flame did not flicker in the breeze, and its light was warm and steady, as though it carried a heartbeat of its own. Curious, Haru waded into the shallow edge of the river and picked it up. As he held it, he felt a strange comfort, as if the lantern were whispering, "You are not alone." From that night onward, Haru kept the lantern with him. He placed it by his bed at night, and its glow filled his home with warmth. When loneliness crept in, he looked at the lantern and felt a quiet peace. As weeks passed, Haru noticed something even more remarkable. Whenever he carried the lantern with him on his nightly rounds, the townspeople seemed brighter, happier. Strangers spoke more kindly, neighbors lingered to chat, and laughter seemed to echo more easily in the streets. It was as if the lantern not only lit the path, but also soft hearts. One night, Haru asked the river how this lantern had come to him. The river's current whispered back, "The light you see is not my night, is yours. You carried it all along." The lantern only reminded you that even in solitude, you are a light for others. Haru wept quietly, not from sorrow, but from release. For the first time, he understood. He had never been truly alone. His light had always been with him, in the kindness he showed, and the warmth he carried. And from that night, he no longer feared the silence of his home. The lantern remained by his side, but its glow was no longer needed to remind him of who he was. The river pauses here, as though to let you rest. Its story is a lullaby, reminding you that even in moments of loneliness, your light shines quietly within. You may not always see it, but others feel it. You're never truly alone. The second tale. The Garden of Stillness, the river flows on, and another story begins to unfold in its voice. This time, it tells of a hidden garden deep within a forest. Few knew of its existence, for it could only be found by those who had forgotten how to rest. One evening, a young woman named Leon wandered into the forest. Her heart was heavy with worry. Her mind was full of noise, thoughts racing like a storm. She had worked long hours, cared for others endlessly, but had given little care to herself. Exhausted, she walked without knowing where she was going, until she stumbled upon a stone arch covered in ivy. Beyond it was a garden glowing faintly, In the moonlight, the air inside the garden was different. It was hushed, almost sacred. A small pond reflected the stars above, and soft moss cushioned the ground like a carpet. Flowers bloomed in colors she had never seen, their petals opening slowly as though breathing. The garden seemed alive, not in the way plants are alive, but in the way dreams are alive. Leanne sat at the pond's edge, and for the first time in many months, she did nothing. She did not plan. She did not worry. She simply sat and watched the ripples on the water. With every breath, she felt lighter. With every pause, her thoughts grew quieter. As the night deepened, she heard a voice not outside of her, but within. You do not need to carry everything at once. The garden is within you. Return to it whenever you need stillness. Leanne wept softly, letting her tears fall into the pond. She realized she had been seeking peace in the wrong place, rushing, working, pleasing others when the peace she longed for had always been inside her. The garden was a mirror of her soul, waiting patiently for her return. From that night, whenever her mind grew restless, she closed her eyes and pictured the garden. And always it was there, calm, steady, full of healing. The river sighs as it finishes. This story inviting you to find the garden of stillness within yourself. It is always there, waiting for you, no matter how noisy the world becomes. The whispering bamboo, the day had been long. Perhaps for you too, the kind of day where time seems to stretch, where every thought lingers a little too heavily, and where the weight of overthinking or unspoken worries stays curled inside your chest. Yet now, as you lie down, there's only this moment, the gentle rhythm of your breath, the soft surface beneath you, and the quiet anticipation of being carried into a dream. Tonight's story begins in a small, timeless valley hidden away from the noise of the world. A valley shaped by soft hills, where a river glides like silver through meadows, and where tall bamboo grows in endless groves, rustling with a whisper that sounds almost like a lullaby. This valley was said to be blessed, a place where even restless minds found stillness. The villagers who lived here spoke of the whispering bamboo, a grove that seemed to breathe with wisdom. On quiet nights, the stalks would sway, and if you listened closely, you could hear the sound of story-sold centauries, passed from leaf to leaf, carried on the wind. The night after your walk in the Zen garden, you find yourself drawn deeper into the landscape of your dreams. The mist around the pond seems to part like a curtain, revealing a narrow path of smooth stones that winds into the forest. The sound of water trickling fades behind you, replaced by the faint rustle of bamboo stalks swaying in a hidden breeze. The bamboo grove is unlike anything you've seen before. Each stalk stretches toward the heavens, tall and graceful, their green leaves whispering softly in unison. The sound is rhythmic, almost like the earth breathing. You pause for a moment, closing your eyes, letting the hush of the bamboo wash over you. The weight of the day, the clutter of thoughts, the burdens of worry begins to loosen and slip away as you take each step deeper into the grove. You notice how light filters through the leaves above, breaking into fragments of gold and silver. The ground is soft beneath your feet, covered with moss and tiny blossoms that release a subtle fragrance into the night. The air here feels charged with stillness, yet alive like the grove itself is aware of your presence and welcomes you into its heart. You continue walking until you arrive at a small clearing. In the center lies a stone bench carved from a single slab of granite, weathered but strong. You sit, and the bamboo around you bends gently as though bowing. Their soft murmur grows clearer now, like 1,000 voices speaking together in a language older than words. At first, you don't understand, but then slowly you realize it isn't language at all. It's rhythm, vibration, energy. It's the sound of harmony. The bamboo is reminding you of something you've always known but often forgotten, that life in its essence is simple. We grow, we bend, we sway, we breathe. Your shoulders relax. Your breath deepens. The bamboo is teaching you to let go. The story of the monk and the bamboo as you sit in stillness, a memory not your own, drifts into your mind, carried by the whispering leaves. Long ago, a Zen monk lived in a hut at the edge of this very grove. He was young when he came, restless and impatient, wanting answers to all the mysteries of life. Each morning he would sit under the bamboo, frustrated when no great wisdom revealed itself. One evening, during a storm, he watched the tall bamboo bend under the fierce wind. They bowed so low, yet when the storm passed, they rose again, unharmed. The monk wept. He realized that wisdom wasn't hidden, it was before his eyes all along. to bend without breaking, to flow with the storm instead of resisting it was the way of the bamboo, the way of Zen. From that day forward, he was at peace. He no longer sought to force answers, but allowed them to come naturally. Like rain nourishing the earth, the bamboo around you seems to repeat his lesson, swaying gently, whispering, breathe, bend, let go. Breathing with the bamboo, you close your eyes and begin to breathe with the rhythm of the grove. With every inhale, you imagine drawing in the cool freshness of the bamboo forest. With every exhale, you let go of tension, of the burdens you carried. From your day, the grove becomes your teacher. The air around you feels lighter, like silk flowing through your fingers. You can almost hear the universe itself humming through the stalks. For a long time, you sit in that stillness, listening. The rustle of the leaves becomes softer, like a lullaby. And as the sound grows quieter, your mind follows, slowing, unwinding, opening into calm. The lantern path when you rise from the stone bench, the grove reveals another gift. Small lanterns glow at the base of the bamboo stalks, one after another, forming a path that was invisible before. Their golden light flickers, like fireflies, guiding you deeper into the forest. You follow them, unhurried, each step lighter than the last. The lanterns don't rush, yet they seem to wait, as though they know you will find your way when the time is right. The path wanes until you come to a wooden bridge. It arches gracefully over a stream so clear you can see smooth stones shining beneath its surface. You pause on the bridge, leaning against the wooden rail, listening to the water singing as it flows over rocks. The sound blends with the whisper of the bamboo, creating a symphony of nature, soothing, eternal, effortless. You breathe it in, and the calm fills your chest like warm light. The dream of the white crane as you cross the bridge. You notice a movement in the clearing ahead. A crane, pure white, elegant, Saren stands at the edge of the stream. Its long neck curves gracefully, and its wings shimmer in the lantern glow. The crane looks at you, unafraid, its eyes calm and knowing. For a moment, you simply stand together in silence, the stream flowing between you. Then slowly, the crane spreads its wings and rises into the night sky. You watch as it disappears above the bamboo, leaving a trail of shimmering starlight in its wake. The light drifts downward, settling on the stream, on the moss, on the path you walk. The forest glows faintly now, as though touched by the stars themselves, and in your heart you feel lighter. The crane has carried away something you no longer need, perhaps an old worry, perhaps an unspoken fear. All you know is that you feel freer, more open, as though space has been created within you for peace to enter. A resting place, the lantern. Path leads you at last to a small hut nestled among the bamboo. Its walls are simple, woven from reeds, its roof thatched with straw. A warm light glows from within, inviting you closer. You slide open the wooden door and step inside. The hut is small, but it radiates warmth and comfort. A low futon rests in the corner, draped with a soft quilt. A single candle flickers on a wooden table, filling the room with golden light. The air smells faintly of sandalwood and fresh bamboo leaves. A kettle sits on the hearth, steam curling into the air like a gentle sigh. You lie down on the futon, feeling the quilt wrap around you like an embrace. Outside, the bamboo continues its soft lullaby, swaying in the night breeze. The candlelight dances on the walls, steady and calming dot. Your eyes grow heavy, but you feel no resistance, only gratitude, only peace. You allow the rhythm of the bamboo to carry you deeper and deeper into rest, into dreams, into a silence that heals. The night stretches endlessly, that you are safe, wrapped in the song of the grove. The monk's wisdom, the crane's gift, the lantern's glow remain with you, weaving themselves into your breath, your heartbeat, your dreams. Here, in the heart of the bamboo forest, you are not hurried, not burdened. You are simply part of the rhythm of life, bending, breathing, being. And as you surrender to sleep, the bamboo whispers one last time, you are safe, you are loved. You are free. Whispers of the wind. The night had deepened, and yet the valley remained alive with subtle movements. Soft voices carried on the air as though the earth itself was breathing. The stars, spread wide across the velvet sky, blinked like guardians of the silence. Somewhere within the misty valley, a breeze stirred, gentle yet purposeful, as though it carried stories too delicate to be spoken aloud. Master Lee sat at the edge of a wooden bridge that arched over a quiet stream. His robe, light and flowing, swayed with the rhythm of the air. Next to him, Hana leaned forward, peering into the dark waters where moonlight shimmered like fragments of silver glass. "Do you hear it?" the master asked, his voice calm, almost indistinguishable from the sounds of the night. Hana tilted her head. The wind passed through the trees, brushing against the branches, whispering softly. At first it was only rustling leaves, but the longer she listened, the more it sounded like words, faint and lyrical. "It sounds alive," Hana murmured. Master Lee smiled. "It is. The wind has always carried voices, the cries of the earth, the laughter of children long gone, the lessons of monks who once walked these same paths. It is patient, never rushing, never clinging, simply moving where it must." The girl closed her eyes. The breeze touched her cheeks, cool and tender, and she could almost hear a melody in its rhythm, like a lullaby sung by something greater than she could comprehend. "Do the whispers have meaning?" she asked. "They do," the master replied. "But meaning is not something the wind will hand to you. It is something you feel. The wind is a teacher of letting go. Notice how it carries leaves without resistance. It does not ask the trees why they fall. It does not mourn what it carries away. It simply allows the journey to continue." Hana thought of the burdens she carried, the worries of her heart, the anxieties of a young mind overwhelmed by too much noise. Could she too be like the wind? Could she release her fears and let them drift away? Master Lee dipped his hand into the water, ripples forming across the surface. If you sit quietly enough, the whispers of the wind can become your own thoughts. They can untangle the knots inside you. The girl closed her eyes once more. This time she let the air wash through her without trying to name its sound. And slowly she felt lighter, as if the knots in her chest were unraveling, thread by thread. The next morning dawned in soft shades of peach and lavender. The mist lifted slowly from the valley floor, unveiling distant peaks bathed in sunlight. Birds stirred, their calls gentle yet full of life. Hana awoke to the sound of the stream still flowing beneath the bridge, unchanged yet ever moving. Master Lee was already awake, sweeping fallen leaves from the wooden path. He hummed quietly, a tune so simple it blended seamlessly with the morning. "Did you rest?" he asked without turning. Hana nodded. "The wind helped me sleep. It felt like it was taking my worries away." The old monk paused, his broom still in hand. That is the first lesson of the wind. Surrender. You cannot silence the noise in your heart by fighting it. You silence it by allowing it to pass through, as the wind passes through the trees. Hannah considered this deeply. She realized she had always tried to fight her thoughts, pushing away what hurt, clinging to what comforted her. Perhaps she had only made her restlessness stronger. That day, they traveled deeper into the valley, where a field of wildflowers stretched. As far as the eye could see, the petals danced in the breeze, swaying in unison as though the entire meadow breathed together. Hannah walked slowly, her fingers brushing over the blossoms. Do you see how each flower bends with the wind? Master Lee asked. Not one resists. They bow together, then rise together. There is no fear of being broken, for they trust in the flow of the air. Hannah bent down and studied a single blossom, small and fragile, yet firm in its place. She whispered to it, "You're not afraid, are you?" The flower, of course, did not answer, but as the breeze passed, it swayed gently, graceful as if nodding. Hannah laughed softly. Master Lee heard her and smiled. When you laugh at the whispers of nature, it means you have begun to listen. Laughter is a kind of surrender too. That night, as the stars gathered again in their silent thousands, Hannah lay on the grass beside the meadow, staring upward. The sky stretched endlessly above her, yet she felt no fear of its vastness. Instead, she felt a strange comfort in knowing she was just a small part of something immeasurable. The wind rose again, carrying with it the fragrance of the flowers and the faint rustle of the trees. Hannah closed her eyes, breathing deeply, the sound of the breeze now familiar and kind. "Master," she whispered into the night, "will the wind always be here to guide me?" From somewhere nearby, his calm voice answered, "The wind never leaves. Sometimes it quiets, sometimes it roars, but it is always here, waiting. Even when you cannot feel it, it moves above, below, within. Trust it, and you will never feel alone." Hannah let those words sink into her heart, deeper than the roots of the meadow flowers. With each breath, she felt herself dissolve into the rhythm of the night, the wind her guide, the earth her pillow, the sky her blanket dot, and soon, without resistance, she drifted into a sleep as peaceful as the valley itself. The river of stillness, the moon was high, its silver glow spilling over the valley when Hannah woke to the sound of water. Not the playful trickle of a stream, nor the whisper of morning dew, but a deep, steady flow that seemed to pulse like the heartbeat of the earth. She rose slowly, rubbing her eyes, and saw Master Lee standing at the edge of a wide river that she had not noticed before. The river stretched out like a long ribbon of glass, reflecting the stars above. Its current moved gently, calm yet powerful, carrying the weight of time without hurry. Hannah stepped closer, her bare feet brushing against the damp grass. "Master," she said softly, "where does the river go?" He turned, his face bathed in moonlight, eyes as steady as the water. "It goes where it must. It carries everything with patience, fallen leaves, forgotten twigs, reflections of the sky. The river does not choose. It does not resist. It moves forward, always." Hannah crouched beside him, listening. The sound of the current was steady, like a lullaby sung in the language of the earth. It did not rush, did not stumble. It simply was. "Can we follow it?" she asked. "We already are," Master Lee replied. "Every step you take is the river. Every breath, every moment of your life flows forward. The question is not where the river goes, but how you choose to journey with it." Hannah touched the water with her fingertips. It was cool, smooth, alive. The ripples spread gently outward, as if acknowledging her presence. The following morning, Master Lee led Hannah along the river's edge. The path was narrow, lined with stones softened by moss. The sound of the water accompanied them, constant yet never intrusive. Birds perched on low branches, dipping their beaks into the stream before flying off again. "Do you notice?" Master Lee asked. Hannah tilted her head. "Notice what?" "The way everything finds peace with the river. The trees bow to it, their roots drinking from its depth. The fish live within it, moving without struggle. Even the stones, once sharp and jagged, have been smoothed by its touch. The river teaches patience. It shows us that even what is rough can become gentle with time." Hannah walked in silence for a while, her eyes tracing the steady flow. She thought of her own life, the moments that felt sharp and painful. Could they too be soft and reshaped by patience? That evening, they came upon a quiet bend in the river where the water slowed, forming a pool as clear as crystal. Dragonflies skimmed across the surface, their wings glinting like fragments of light. Master Li sat on a flat stone by the waters, edged and gestured for Hannah to do the same. "This place," he said, "is called the Mirror Pool. Here, the water is so still that it reflects not only the world above, but the world within." Hannah leaned forward, peering into the pool. At first, she saw only her reflection, her face framed by strands of hair, her eyes wide and searching. But the longer she looked, the more she felt as though she were staring not at her face, but at something deeper. "It feels like it's showing me who I am," she whispered. "Not who you are," the master corrected gently, "but who you are becoming. The river does not keep your reflection, it lets it go. What you see is a moment, nothing more. To cling to it is to hold on to. Water with your hands impossible and unnecessary." Hannah's heart stirred. She wanted to believe in that Ferdonto let go of her fear of the future, her worry about who she should be. "Can the river take my worries away?" she asked. "It already has," Master Li said. "The moment you release them into the flow, they cease to be yours. The river knows how to carry burdens. Trust it." The night grew quiet around them. Fireflies appeared, their tiny lanterns glowing like sparks of a dream. The river glimmered beneath the moon, endless and serene. Hannah lay on the grass beside the pool, her hands folded across her chest. The hum of the river lulled her into a calm she had never known. "Master," she murmured sleepily, "does the river ever stop?" "No," came the reply, soft and steady, "and neither do you. Even when your body rests, your breath flows, your heart beats, your spirit moves forward. Life is the river. The stillness you feel now is not the end of movement, but harmony. With it, her eyelids grew heavy. She thought of the countless streams and rivers across the earth, all flowing, all carrying time and life forward. She wondered if they too whispered to travelers who listened closely enough. And with that thought, she drifted into sleep, the sound of the current wrapping her in its gentle embrace. When dawn arrived, Hannah woke to a light mist hanging over the water. The river sparkled beneath the rising sun, golden ribbons weaving through the surface. Master Li stood nearby, gazing at the horizon. "Today," he said, "we will walk with the river to its meeting place. Do you know where that is?" Hannah shook her head. The river teaches us that everything meets, everything joins. Just as the small stream becomes the wide river, the river itself seeks the sea. Separation is only an illusion. In truth, all water is one. As they walked, Hannah carried his words with her. She began to see the river not just as water, but as a path connecting everything, mountains to valleys, valleys to oceans, even hearts to hearts. At last, they reached a vast opening where the river spread wide, joining with other streams that tumbled down from the hills. The sound grew stronger, yet still calm, like voices blending into a single choir. Hannah stood in awe. The feels endless. Master Lee nodded. This is the river's gift, the reminder that you are never separate. You are part of everything, and everything is part of you. The river's stillness is your stillness, its strength your strength. The girl closed her eyes, breathing in the cool air, listening to the chorus of flowing water. And in that moment, she felt no boundary between herself and the world around her. She was the river, and the river was her. That night, Hannah sat once more by the water's edge, watching stars ripple on its surface. The river's lullaby filled her ears, not just as sound, but as meaning. She thought of her past, her present, and the journey ahead, and for the first time, she did not feel afraid. She whispered into the night, "Thank you." The river answered in its way, carrying her voice downstream, perhaps to the ocean, perhaps to infinity, and wrapped in that quiet gratitude, Hannah fell asleep. Her dreams carried gently along the river of stillness. The final stretch of the night had arrived. The stars, which had gleamed with youthful brightness only a few hours ago, were now softer, dimmer, as if they too had begun to drowse. A hush had fallen over the Zen Valley, a kind of sacred silence that did not need to be broken, only honored. In the middle of that vast, peaceful hush stood the old temple, its golden lanterns flickering like small suns, guiding weary travelers back to themselves. Inside the temple, the group of listeners gathered once more around the master, who now sat with eyes half closed, his posture perfectly still, yet radiating the warmth of a mountain under the sun. For 4 nights, He had shared with them stories that soothed, healed, and unwound the tight knots of worry that clung to the heart. And tonight in this last gathering, promised to leave them not only with stories, but with something far greater, a way to carry the calm with them, always. The master began, his voice slow, patient, every word rolling out like a bell's echo drifting across a lake. Peace, my dear friends, is not a place. It is not a temple, nor a valley, nor even the stillness of the stars. Peace is within you, as close as your own breath. You do not need to go anywhere to find it, you only need to remember it is there. Tonight, let us remember together. The listeners closed their eyes. The master told them to notice the breath, to feel the rise and fall, the tide of life moving effortlessly. The breath, he said, is the softest story ever told. Each inhale says, I welcome you. Each exhale says, I release you. Nothing is held. Nothing is forced. Nothing is broken. In the breath, you are whole. The fifth story, the lantern that never burns out, the master then began his final Talia story that he promised would stay lit in their hearts, just like the lanterns glowing in the temple. Once, he said, there was a little boy who lived in a mountain village where nights were very long and winters very cold. His family had only one lantern, and every evening the boy was given the task to light it. The flame was tiny, but it filled their hut with warmth and comfort. One stormy night, however, the lantern's oil was spilled. The boy panicked, fearing that without the lantern, his family would be lost in the endless dark. He ran through the snow, searching for light. He knocked on neighbors' doors, but their lanterns were also dim, their oil low. He climbed the mountain, hoping the monks there might help, but by the time he arrived, the snowstorm had grown fierce, and the boy collapsed at the temple's gate. A monk found him and carried him inside. When the boy explained his plight, the monk smiled softly and handed him an unlit lantern. But this is empty, the boy cried. The monk simply said, close your eyes and breathe. Confused but desperate, the boy did as told. Slowly, warmth spread through his chest. When he opened his eyes, the lantern in his hands glowed not with fire, but with a steady, golden light that came from within him. He returned to his village, and that lantern never dimmed again. It did not need oil for It was powered by something greater, the quiet flame of peace within the boy's own heart. The listeners let out a gentle sigh. Some felt tears slip down their cheeks, not tears of sadness, but of recognition. For they too had carried lanterns all along, though perhaps they had forgotten their own light. Guided calm, a final journey. Through the valley after the story, the master invited everyone to rise and follow him out of the temple into the night one last time. The group stepped onto the temple steps. Before them stretched the misty valley, silvered by moonlight. The river sparkled faintly. The air was cool, crisp, but softened by the scent of pine and jasmine. "Walk with me," said the master, and so they walked. Each step crunched gently on the gravel paths, slow, deliberate. He guided them through the gardens where stone lanterns flickered, past cherry trees heavy with blossoms, their petals falling like pink snow. Each breath in carried the sweetness of flowers. Each breath out melted away the last fragments of stress. They crossed the old wooden bridge one final time, pausing to watch koi glide in the dark water below. "Like the fish," said the master, "our thoughts wander. Let them, do not grasp. At them, let them swim past. The water is fast. You are the water, not the fish." Further along, they came to the meditation circle by the willow tree. The master asked them to sit. As the group settled on soft moss, the master whispered, "Tonight, release everything. Release the day. Release the self you think you must carry. Here, there is nothing but peace." The listeners closed their eyes. The night cradled them. The hum of crickets lulled them. A deep, unshakable calm descended. The mind, usually so noisy, fell into stillness, the closing blessing as the stars grew faint in the east, signaling the coming of dawn. The master gave his final words. "Remember this. Life will rush, storms will come, worries will return. But you will not be shaken, for you carry a lantern that never burns out. Whenever you forget, close your eyes, breathe, and return to the valley inside yourself. You are safe. You are whole. You are enough. Always." The group bowed, their hearts overflowing with gratitude. Then, like dreams dissolving at daybreak, they dispersed, some back to their homes, some back to their long journeys. Yet all carried with them the same thing, a lantern glowing softly, endlessly within. The valley fell silent again, awaiting the next weary soul who would arrive, seeking peace. And the temple would always be there, nestled among the mountains, waiting like a patient friend. As you lie down now, dear listener, imagine yourself holding your own lantern. Its glow is warm, golden, never flickering. It lights the path ahead softly, never blinding, always kind. Each breath makes the glow stronger, and her leaf lantern glows brighter. Exhale, it spreads wider, filling the valley around you. With each moment, your body softens, shoulders drop, your face smooths. Your chest rises and falls like gentle waves on a quiet shore. The worries of today drift farther and farther away, like leaves floating down the river. Soon, you feel yourself lying on the moss by the willow tree. The stars above smile softly. The lantern rests beside you, steady, eternal. Sleep pulls you in like a mother's embrace. The valley, the lantern, the master's words will fade into silence. You are safe. You are at peace. And now you sleep.